Welcome back to the Bryan Devore Connection. I'm your host, Bryan Devore. Hospice is something that a lot of people don't quite understand. So here to talk to us today about hospice and what they do and how they are different are Calstro Hospice with Nicole and Mitchell. Thank you guys for coming today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for being on your show. Looking forward to talking a little bit about Calstro Hospice.
Absolutely, that's great. Thank you both for coming.
Absolutely.
First, Mitchell, let's talk about Calstro Hospice. What is Calstro Hospice?
Calstro Hospice is a wonderful kind of boutique hospice organization formed and run and created by nurses 10 years ago. So they've been in business for 10 years and now have morphed into having 4 office locations servicing Southern California, including LA, Orange County, Riverside, San Bernardino, and then 5 years ago they started in San Diego.
Got it. Okay. I love the fact that you guys were started by nurses because and it's a very critical component is having that nurse background for sure. And that's something that you don't see in other companies, I don't think.
No, it was really nice. Whenever we had a need, our nurses would be able to step up. You know, they're owners at this point, but still to this day. I mean, if we have an admission that nobody else can tap into, our nurses will be there. They show up, and that's invaluable.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Tell me a little bit about hospice in general, and we'll talk a little more about Calstro, because again, a lot of people have sort of misconceptions about hospice. So, what are some things you can share that hospice is that people may not realize?
I think Calstro kind of sets the tone. So hospice has a negative connotation to a lot. There's a, you know, there's a death aspect to it, and that's scary for people. So we kind of focus in on the comfort part of it. We are here to make your loved one comfortable. You know, we're going to stop treatment at this point, but we can continue with letting your loved one kind of guide how, you know, how the conversation's going to go, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Mitch, what do you have to add to that?
Yeah, exactly that. And also what people don't realize is, or know about Calstro is we kind of, I would say, specialize in working with patients at senior living communities, licensed communities, because we are very understanding and knowledgeable on all the rules and regulations of Title 22, and as you know, there's a lot.
Yeah.
So our nurses and clinicians are very understanding of that and communicate well, do all the documentation needed and required, and those are the most challenging ones, is to work with all the different policies and procedures of not only Title 22, but also the rules and policies of each individual senior living community or skilled nursing facility.
Sure.
You know, so.
And it's kind of individualized. You know, each building has their own
Yeah.
set of standards, their own, you know. But I think it really comes back to the family. What do you want? What do you see for your loved one? How do you want this to play out?
Yeah.
You know, we focus on comfort. If there's an infection, we're going to treat for that. That's something that's kind of a misconception. But in the meantime, we're going to provide the medical equipment that you need to be comfortable, the medications that you need to be comfortable, and we're going to hold your hand during the process. We have a social worker, we have a chaplain.
Wow.
There's you know, there's lots of support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know that, and you touched on this a little bit about, you know, when people stop the treatments.
Yeah.
And that's usually when hospice kicks in, right? Where you're no longer, for example, if someone has cancer, you're no longer going to treat the cancer,
Right.
and so then you have, you know, a diagnosis that is going to lead to death, but that's when hospice comes in. But it could be a couple months, it could be 6, 8 months,
Yeah.
and you just don't know. And so it's very important to have the right company to kind of guide you through the way. And I love the fact that you guys do specialize in working with people who are in senior living communities, because that could be very challenging for family members in that type of setting. You know, usually you kind of picture someone passing in their home, which is great, and I know you help people with that, but
Absolutely.
in a community is a whole different story.
Right, exactly. The ones at home, I mean, it's a nice home environment. Those are actually the easy ones to assist with because they don't have to follow all the rules and regulations as the senior living communities do. So we can help both, but we do, I always want to mention, we do work, probably 80% plus of our patients are in licensed communities.
Got it.
And there's kind of, you know, the caregivers are there for the 24-hour care, but we're there for the comfort measures. And
Right.
we're going to check in, and we're going to, you know, so we don't do the daily ins and outs, but we do the piece where
Right.
You know,
The above and beyond,
The above
and
and beyond.
communicate with the family of
exactly.
what's happening.
I love to over communicate. So,
That's good.
So they'll have a nursing team. There's an RN assigned to each patient. They also have an LVN on their team, the chaplain, the social worker, a home health aide. So each patient has a team built out for them. Mitch and I like to say, you know, there's a 24-hour line that's addressed by a nurse every phone call, but you still have us. You
Yeah.
know, we're the initial point of contact. So please lean on us as well. You know,
Yeah.
So they have that individualized,
That's
kind
very
of
important.
smaller company feel.
Right.
Yeah, even on the weekends too. I mean, I got a call at 1 a.m. in the morning from a referral source, and asked, well, what's the earliest time we can have the patient advocate call you? And I said, well, how about 8 a.m. Sounds good. And so they called me at 7:53 in the morning, and turned out it was a pretty dire need that they needed our services, and I connected with my team, and within about 2 to 3 hours, we had my team was there at their home. It's a private home, and did the intake and took care of everything within about 4 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, so
It's
was
a great
quick
success story.
very quick process.
Yeah.
So
One thing I want to make sure I mention for people who don't always understand this, and I want to talk about the assisted living waiver that you mentioned, but people have a choice when it comes to hospice. And a lot of times when they're in a situation and the family's never gone through this before, especially if they're doing it for the first time, and a medical professional says, well, here's who you need to use. That's not true. They have a choice. And so if they know there's choices like Calstro, they can make that choice, and it's covered by insurance.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So almost all insurances cover hospice. But right, there's a choice. And so that's something that they lean on the doctor for. Their PCP maybe has somebody they work with. The assisted living has somebody they work with, but there's always choices. So we really try to just add that education piece. Not everybody's going to connect with everybody. That's okay. If we are your choice, then
Yeah.
but right, there's choices, and it is covered by insurance. Medicare is great, but
Yeah.
for the younger population too.
Right.
we're also contracted with the VA through the Tri-West program as well, so
Okay.
it streamlines the process for those individuals who need the services.
Oh, good.
And to kind of touch base back on the assisted living waiver program.
Yeah.
Calstro Hospice is pretty much very in depth with or known for assisting those lower income populations. And I have to note that they don't have to be hospice appropriate
Okay.
for those services. We are a CCA, which is a care coordination agency
Okay.
for the assisted living waiver program.
Got it.
So we know all the communities that are contracted with this program, and then we're able to assist those in need at finding appropriate placement.
Got it.
And then we follow them. We have a case manager in the different counties that follow each one of our applicants and our clients throughout the duration of their lifetime.
That's amazing. That's a
Yeah.
great program.
And it's Medi-Cal specific, so it's state funded. So there's a wait list. You get on the wait list. Our team will submit the application. The goal of this program under the hospice umbrella, we're a hospice company. We've created this additional program to have access to the skilled nursing facilities. So we're in there, we're trying to work on some of our patients to get them out into a better suited environment in the community. In return, we're having, building these relationships. We're building relationships with the people we're moving out, with the patients and the people we're moving in, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of a full circle, but we're also the only hospice company in San Diego who has the CCA and local to San Diego.
That's amazing.
So we know our partners.
Yeah, you
we're
do.
here. We know what the buildings look like.
Right.
We know the distance between each city. So there's a huge added benefit, definitely.
Yeah.
And again, it's just the partnership piece of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So more information on Calstro Hospice is on their website. You can take a look at your screen here. If you're listening to this as a podcast, you obviously can't see it, but it's in the caption. But you can go to their website, learn more about the different services they provide, everything that Nicole and Mitchell just shared. Thank you both very much for coming today and sharing about Calstro Hospice, the
Yeah.
things that make you unique and so special.
Thanks, Bryan.
Thank you
Thanks for
very
having
much.
us.
My
Thank you.
pleasure.